He's just looking to see if he can take that red on to left middle, but he can't really play it without being assured of leaving something, so just opting for the safety.
Great judgment of pace again from Robertson, gluing that cue ball to the baulk cushion. Shaded area denoting the reds that Ding is unable to see.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see in the rest of this match. We're going to see some really good safety battles, aren't we? They both excel in that department, building and potting. They're both extremely clever, the safety side of the game.
Well, very defensive safety there from Robertson. Clearly felt he didn't have many options. But of course, with a red in baulk, the safety battle is somewhat restricted. Robertson covered that red, so Ding can't play off it. Keep the cue ball at the bottom end of the table. Not heading for a re-rack, are we, Alan?
Yeah, it's always a possibility, as you say, Phil, when you get a red in baulk, isn't it? It's be interesting here to see if Neil Robertson opens a few reds up. Bring that cue ball back in, obviously behind the black.
Goes for the double instead. Oh, it wasn't far away. It was a little risky though, because he's caught the far bumper, and that means the red is on.
Yeah, he count himself a wee bit unfortunate there to leave the red as he has. A fairly straightforward starter for Ding, and just looking ahead, should be able to get a nice angle on probably a baulk colour in a few shots time. Try to attack that pack of reds. Yeah, so this is the next couple of shots are going to be key. It's the next red. Can he get a nice angle on probably yellow or brown? And he's had a kick there again, I think, and this has just gone awkward.
Not quite a Chinese snooker, but certainly his cueing is hampered here by the brown.
Yeah, just wants to drift past the baulk line here, I think. Oh, that's perfect. As I said, he was looking for half ball on either yellow or green, so he has choices now. So whichever way he wants to play this, I think yellow's good for me as well. This is a big target.
Stand by for some pace here.
Oh, that's fortunate now. Is the pink going to ruin it?
Well, Teague apologised, and it turned out to be a little premature, that apology, because having made a bit of a mess of attempting to split the reds, hitting the pink instead, he managed to land right behind a red, only to see the pink come back to haunt him and knock that red out of the way. But at least Ding can see the funny side.
Yeah, that was nice, wasn't it? He had a good little...
That was the snooker gods exacting very quick retribution, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But wait, is there something in the middle of that bunch that's available for Ding?
Yeah, he's just trying to see if he can squeeze that red in, the bottom one of the two that are together.
Well, this is a bit risky. Better be right about this one if he goes for it. I think he's in two minds. Yes, I think he's aware of how dangerous that shot would be, because if he got it, it could be a frame winner, but equally, if it didn't go, he might be sitting in his chair for the rest of the frame. So, discretion the better part of valour on this occasion.
Junhui 6.
Yeah, and he's done well to cover the right edge of the pack.
Well, there you go. Robertson pretty much snookered on all reds there. Might just be the merest hint of the edge of a red, the one on the left of your screen, but he's planning on dropping into the pack. Has he got the pace? I think he has. Oh no, he's at the black.
Palms. Junhui 7.
Yeah, he's just got to be careful here, Neil Robertson. Although the pack are sitting together, they're loosely packed, so there's a couple of cannons that he could make in reds and leave Ding an easy starter, so he doesn't want to play this. He just wants to play it at resting pace onto the cluster.
So Neil Robertson making his second attempt to escape from this snooker, just conferring with referee Terry Camilleri as to exactly where the cue ball was. We just had the glimpse of a still of where it was before he played his first attempt, which ended up careering into the black. It's not about hitting the reds here, it's about leaving them safe. I think he'll settle for that.
Yeah, very good, but may find himself back in the exact same position. This properly.
This time Robertson can see enough of the edge of that loose red. But there was always the danger there. And he's got away with it. Careering into the pink and leaving the cue ball down this end.
Yeah, he dodged one there, Neil Robertson. That's another illustration here of how good Ding Junhui's safety play is. That's last three or four times he's got him trapped. Knows exactly what he's doing in the safety department, this young Ding.
Ding, who's won 6 ranking titles, 2 of them UK championships. He's won the Masters as well. Robertson has 8 ranking titles to his name.
Palms. Junhui.
And it's Ding who's most certainly dictating terms in the early stages of this key 4th frame.
Yeah, and that free ball is going to give Ding a half chance here of the brown to left middle.
Brown.
Just be playing it as a soft screw, probably for the brown again. So this is a big shot already. If it goes in, he's given himself a good chance. Oh, brilliant. Those are very tricky. Blind pocket.
1.
He looks very, very solid, does Ding Junhui.
Well, he's barely missed a pot in the match. And he's potted some superb single balls. One thinks back to that amazing red down the rail. He's hitting the ball very sweetly, but as I say that, he's run a little too far with the cue ball, and that was careless from the Chinese because there was a big margin of error there. Seemed to have done the hard work, didn't he, with the brown? Now can he just dink this one in? He's not happy.
Yeah, he'll be disgusted with that. He had a good 18 inches, 2 feet to play with there. Probably more, in fact. To land there was bad for a player of his standard.
Just a little lapse in concentration, that's all it takes for position to go awry.
Junhui 5.
Once again, though, deliberately in behind the yellow.
And I think, Alan, that's a sign of Ding's greater maturity these days. There was a time when a mistake of that nature would really have got to him and would perhaps have resulted in him playing a rather rash shot, but as he's got that little bit older, in his mid-20s now, I think he's learnt to deal with those little disappointments a little better, and that's made him a tougher match opponent.
Yeah, it's a good point, that is, Phil. There was no histrionics, was there, when he ran out of position?
Oh, what a two-cushion escape that was from Neil Robertson. A shot pioneered by the great Canadian Cliff Thorburn, former world champion, and now part and parcel of the modern game. And that was about as good as it gets. A rare safety error from Ding, who caught the red a little too thin, hence the cue ball coming back down towards the centre of the table. And he has left a red here. It's not easy, though.
Yeah, he has left this. It looks like he's going to have to just dribble it dead weight. The only red he can leave is the one he's playing again. Oh, that's brilliant from Neil Robertson. To have been frozen out as he has been just this last 20 minutes, half an hour, to knock that in, it's top class.
So much harder than it looked. Great cueing there. So a couple of errors from Ding in this frame. The positional error when he looked well set to build on that early 22-point lead, and then
9.
the misjudged safety has let Robertson back in with the chance to make hay. Cue power, doesn't he, Alan? There's no doubt that he's got plenty in reserve there, but he does it in an effortless fashion.
Yeah, that's a good point as well, Phil. He has it in reserve almost, doesn't he? He doesn't really use it, but when called upon, he's got as much cue power as anyone. But as I said earlier, he does it with such control. That's the impressive thing. It's not just bashing and slashing away at shots. It's all controlled. I said earlier, he's been frozen out a little bit just at present, but he's got great presence of mind just to sit and be patient and wait for his chance. And when his chance comes along, he seems to just get back into his running so quickly.
25.
Another heavy contact. A great damage done.
Thirty-two. It
was a clever little cannon as well. And the outside red just opens up the one at the bottom, the cluster of reds. So they're just developing here as he goes about his business.
41.
You know, he's going to be forced to play some sort of cannon here, so just going to have to trust to luck. Not going to play in any one red. I feel he'll play this with quite a bit of pace, get those reds moving. Well, my mistake, decided to just drop it in.
48.
And he couldn't have placed the cue ball better there. Fancy him to knock this in, and this opens the whole frame up now, providing this red drops.
49.
Never in doubt. Well, so little to choose between this pair. But I think Ding will be feeling a little frustrated. He had a big chance to carve out a 3-1 lead, played that rather careless positional shot. Lost position on his red, and then his next shot was the overcooked safety, and this is the result. Well, that was very nearly
57.
absolute disaster for Robertson in this frame. He got a thunderous kick which threw the red offline, just about got to the pocket and just about dropped in, but it could so easily have stayed up, and that would have been a big moment in this match. Relief for the Aussie. .35 is his lead. That was hard in mouth time, Alan.
Yeah, he'd have been unlucky there. The break to have broken down through a kick. I've seen quite a few bad contacts already this evening. But how well is he taking these? Especially when you think back to that first red. There didn't look to be much on, did there? Another really bad contact there. Really, there's a lot of kicks out there tonight.
72.
Well, this red will mean that Ding can only tie, but the black and near certainty to follow. It looks like 2-all at the interval, and I guess that's probably about right. We've seen some excellent snooker, some great safety, some fine breaks. And I would say this match is more than living up to the promise.
81.
Two great players in great form, producing a great battle. And a best of 9 is going to become a best of 5. The only thing we've been missing in this first mini session is a century. Are we about
87.
to see one here? Neil Robertson has made 275 of them. 45 last season alone.
Yeah, it's set up beautifully now, this match, isn't it?
94.
As you say, Phil, will come out after the interval. It'll be effectively a best of 5.
95.
And this excellent break, launched by that very tricky opening red. There's the century. Well, the majority of fans, of course, here at the Shanghai Grand Stage rooting for Ding, but above all rooting for good snooker, and they're seeing plenty of it from the cue of the Aussie left-hander, who rattles the yellow in as he snookered himself on the green. It's pretty tight. It's academic, of course. The green stays out, but that's a clinical break from Neil Robertson after the error of judgment on the safety from Ding Junhui, who led twice in that mini session, but twice he's been pegged back by the man from Melbourne. It's 2 frames all at the mid-session interval. They'll be off now for a 15-minute break.